Good morning, all of you. In this session, we are going to discuss about chemical shift values in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is abbreviated as NMR spectroscopy, where chemical shift values, what is the position of signals for the given organic compounds by the process called shielding and deshielding is mentioned in this session. What is shielding? What is deshielding? And how the position of signals will be influenced by the shielding and deshielding phenomenon. This is the principle of NMR spectroscopy, so which discussed in detail in this session. Chemical shift is the process where electronic environment of the protons are generated due to shielding and deshielding of the protons when we are applying external magnetic field. So for the given molecule, if we are applying external magnetic field, the molecule experiences and within the molecule there is a generation of new kind of magnetic field called induced magnetic field, which is also known as secondary magnetic field. So this secondary magnetic field generated may cause shielding and deshielding of the given external magnetic field. We will discuss in detail what is shielding and what is deshielding of protons. By using this NMR spectroscopy, it is possible to distinguish, it is possible to separate hydroxy, aldehyde, carboxylic acid, aliphatic, aromatic hydrogens present in the compound, whether it is the kind of amine, amide, ether group present in the compound, vinylic and acetylenic, any kind of hydrogen. Environment of the hydrogen can be easily predicted by using this NMR spectroscopy. NMR spectroscopy plays vital role in the giving maximum valuable information about chemical structure of the compounds. Structure of the compounds are easily delineated, easily elucidated by using NMR spectroscopy. So whatever research findings, new compounds identified, new compounds synthesized can be easily decoded or confirmed by using NMR spectral analysis. Now let us see what is shielding, what is deshielding process. Shielding stands for when magnetic field we are applying on the molecule and induced magnetic field. So both the magnetic field which is generated, which is induced upon the molecule, both are in the opposite alignment to each other. So there is a possibility of opposite alignment. It is mentioned in this diagram where let us assume this is the primary magnetic field which we are applying from the external source, and this is the magnetic field which induced are generated within the molecule what we are observing. So these two are in the opposite alignment. Direction is in the inverse, so reverse direction. So this is called the shielding process. Shielding is the process where applied and induced magnetic field are in opposite alignment with respect to each other, right? And next is about deshielding. Deshielding stands for when applied and induced magnetic field both are in the same alignment, which is called reinforced alignment. The process is called deshielding. This process is called deshielding. Because of this shielding and deshielding, signals will be generated within the NMR spectrometer. And the shielding of the protons always shift the signals towards upfield. So in NMR spectroscopy, the values are signals will be displayed on the scale called a delta scale. Delta scale, I will show that delta scale. Here is the delta scale. The values are ranges from 0 to 12 ppm values. And here we have one singlet peak at 0, which is taken as the internal standard, that is tetramethylsilane. Tetramethylsilane is the internal standard which used in NMR spectrophotometer. Towards this TMS, the values whichever obtained are called upfield shifts or upfield signals. Whatever values we are getting towards the value 12 are away from the tetramethylsilane is called a downfield shift. Upfield shift is nothing but towards 0 on this delta scale. If you are getting values towards 0 is called upfield. Towards 12, if we are getting values, that is called a downfield shift. So this is about NMR spectrophotometer. So delta scale is the parameter which used to assign the signals on this 0 to 12 ppm range. In order to calculate delta values, we have the empirical formula. Observed shift in this NMR spectrophotometer by frequency of operator. At what frequency we are operating this instrument. By taking this ratio, we will get delta scale values. And here, delta scale ranges from 0 to 12, which is denoted with delta. And here we have internal standard called tetramethylsilane. In this delta scale, one more important thing we have to know is tetramethylsilane, which is denoted with 4 methyl groups surrounding the silicon atom in the regular tetrahedral structure. This is the internal standard used in this NMR spectrophotometer. Let us see what is the reason for choosing this tetramethylsilane as the internal standard. Because we have some of the parameters which used to indicate TMS as the internal standard. Here, always TMS having high electropositivity. That means low electronegativity will be there with respect to all organic compounds. Hence, its value is always appeared at the upfield region. Whatever organic compounds we are recording, we are observing comes beyond this in TMS, tetramethylsilane. Its value will be the highest upfield signal, and whatever organic compounds we are examining all comes beyond this tetramethylsilane. This is one of the reason. And second is always tetramethylsilane value is fixed as 0. Its delta scale value is fixed as 0, being it is the low electronegative molecule. And with respect to tetramethylsilane, all values will come that away from, that means from that 0, remaining values, remaining signals will be appeared in this NMR spectrophotometer. And next is about this in tetramethylsilicane is used as a suitable organic solvent, and this will give the platform to dissolve all the organic compounds in it. It is the solvent. It is a better solvent in order to dissolve all the organic compounds in it. So that is also another factor to choose TMS as an internal standard. Next is about the most important thing. Being TMS is highly volatile in nature, it readily discarded, it readily escaped from the system. That's the reason why need not to go for any kind of purification after the examination of that compound. In order to study that compound, we are dissolving in TMS. Whenever that what study of organic compound in this NMR spectrophotometer is completed, then need not to go for further separation, being it is more volatile compound, it readily discarded, it readily disappeared from the compound because of its volatility. And we already completed discussion about delta scale. And we studied what is meant by shielding. Shielding is nothing but whenever compound is placed in NMR spectrophotometer and irradiated with external magnetic field, always in NMR spectrophotometer, what happens? There is a what external magnetic field and induced magnetic field both are in the opposite alignment. If opposite alignment is there, that is called shielding. And the second condition, if external and induced magnetic field are in the both same direction, now what happens? That is called reinforced alignment, and this reinforced alignment leads to the deshielding of the protons in NMR spectrophotometer. Now let us see what is the relation between shielding and deshielding and whatever the position of the signal in this NMR spectrometer. That relation is called a chemical shift. When we observe shielding in the molecule, then always values will shift it towards upfield. You can observe the signals towards the zero, towards the internal standard TMS, towards the upfield. That is the relation between TMS and the signal position in this NMR spectrophotometer. When we are taking that deshielding, always deshielding of the organic compound leads to shift the values towards 12. That means downfield shift will be observed if proton is experiencing deshielding. Deshielding shift the values towards downfield, whereas shielding shift the values towards upfield on this delta scale. This is about the position of NMR signals in accordance with shielding and deshielding. The shifting of position of signals because of shielding, deshielding is called the chemical shift. This is all about chemical shift, and these are the few compounds which are able to give the signals in this NMR spectrophotometer. Tetramethylsilane, just now we discussed, it is the internal standard taken in this NMR spectrophotometer, whose delta scale value is arbitrarily fixed as 0. Tetramethylsilane, being it is the compound of symmetrical and having 4 methyl groups which are equal in environment. Because of equal environment, they will give the single signal in this NMR spectrophotometer. And second is cyclopropane. Cyclopropane is also having equal set of hydrogen. That's why it will only give one signal in NMR spectrophotometer. NMR spectroscopy is mainly depends upon nature of signals, nature of protons present in the compound, but not on the number of signals, number of hydrogens. If you are taking cyclopropane, you can find 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 hydrogens. It will not give 6 signals for the compound, rather than only one signal, being all the hydrogens are equal in environment, it will give only one signal. That is at 0.2 ppm of delta scale value. And when we are taking primary aliphatic protons stands for open chain molecule with simple saturated system is the primary aliphatic, being it is attached with one alkyl group, it is the primary aliphatic. It will give the signal in the range of 0.9 ppm on delta scale. Secondary aliphatic protons means carbon when attached with 2 alkyl groups is a secondary, and it will give the signal in the range of 1.3 ppm on the delta scale. When tertiary alkyl group is there, the value is shifted somewhat upfield, that is 1.5 ppm. Vinylic is there. Vinylic stands for when carbon-carbon double bond directly linked with hydrogen. This is called a vinylic hydrogen. Vinylic hydrogen will give the signal in the range of 4.6 to 5.9. So this is for vinylic. If you are getting the signal in 4.8, for example, you can assume the given compound having vinylic functional group. When acetylenic functional group is there in the compound, acetylene stands for carbon-carbon triple bond attached with hydrogen. This is called acetylenic hydrogen. The signal will be appeared in the range of 2 to 3 ppm. When aromatic protons are there, so if any hydrogens directly linked with Bunsen ring or any other aromatic moiety, it will give the characteristic peak will be appeared in the range of 6 to 8.5. It is the very important to distinguish the compounds whether these are aromatic or not. If you are getting the signals in the range of 6 to 8.5, we can assume that the given compound is aromatic in nature. If signal is not in the range of this, you can say it is non-aromatic. And if hydroxy protons are present, you can obtain the signal in the range of 3.4 to 4 ppm. When carboxylic acid is there in the given compound, it will give the signal in the range of extremely downfield, that is 10.5 to 12. It is the highest region in the NMR spectroscopy where the value or peaks are given for carboxylic acids. And next is about aldehyde. Aldehyde stands for CHO. These protons are giving the signals in the range of 9 to 10 ppm. When amine is there, the signal is somewhat downfield, 1 to 5 ppm signal you can observe. If fluoride is there, fluorofunctional group being more electronegative, always shift the values towards downfield so that we will obtain the values near 4 to 4.5. If alpha beta unsaturated methyl group is there, then 1.5 to 1.8 signal will be appeared. Aromatic methyl, methyl directly linked with benzene ring, for example, that methyl will give the signal at 2.2 to 2.4. Normal methyl group signal will be at 0.9, whereas methyl linked with aryl group will give the signal somewhat downfield, 2.2 to 2.4. Ether signal appears at 3.7 to 3.9 ppm. And the ester methyl group signal will be appeared at 3.7 to 3.9 ppm. Amide, when CO and H2 group is there, these hydrogens and the nitrogen will appear in the range of 5 to 9. So it is a broad range. In this range, you can observe the signal for this amide hydrogens. If allylic is there, when carbon-carbon double bond directly linked with hydrogen is called vinylic, whereas carbon-carbon double bond followed by single bond followed by hydrogen, this is called allylic. C double bond C, single bond CH is called allylic proton, and its signal will be appeared at 1.6 to 2.2 ppm. So in this way, various compounds, various functional groups are provided here, for which you can find these NMR signals. It is a typical NMR signal which is given for ethanol, CH3, CH2, OH, right? So in this compound, you can find 3 hydrogens which are methyl, which appeared at around 1 ppm on this delta scale. CH2 protons. So because of spin-spin coupling, the signals will be peak multiplicity we can observe within the molecule, so it will give quadrate n+1 in accordance with n+1 here. Adjacent methyl having 3 protons. So 3 plus 1, that's the reason why for this methyl you can observe quadrate in the range of 3 to 4 ppm. And for OH proton, the signal will be appeared in between 4 to 5 ppm. This is a typical NMR spectrum which is given for ethanol. So that's all for this video. So in this session, we discussed about what is the main principle of this NMR spectroscopy in terms of chemical shift values. So why chemical shift? That means signals will be appeared in different positions on the delta scale in accordance with the parameters called shielding and de-shielding. What is shielding? What is de-shielding? And what happens if shielding is possible, and where you can find the position of the signals? What happens when de-shielding is possible, and where you can find the signal or in the downfield region? So that kind of interrelation, and for different functional groups, what is the area of NMR signals on this delta scale, and why TMS chosen as the internal standard, and what is the simple representation of NMR spectrum, sample spectrum for NMR spectroscopy also discussed in this session. Thank you. Thank you very much.